You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant.
What's up, guys? How we feeling?
Pretty good, Cal.
Doing well, my brother. Doing well.
How are you?
I'm good.
All right, cool.
Good to see you guys. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something today that I was just in Turkey, in Istanbul, and I was flying back. And I was just like thinking about topics and stuff because I had fucking 14 hours to think about it. I had nothing but time. Wasn't going anywhere. And I was like, there was one thing that we've never talked about on this show. And like we talk about, saving relationships and trying to maneuver your way through shit. But sometimes like marriages just don't fucking work. They just don't.
Salvageable.
They're not salvageable, right? And so I wanted to know you guys' opinion. Now, granted, you guys have never been divorced. You've never been married before and priorly divorced. So I don't know. We might be all three of us might be a terrible group of people to talk about this, but I just think it's
just our opinions. Hey, so
just our opinion.
That's even more of a reason.
What would you guys say? Is there like an appropriate, I guess, like timeline to start talking to someone new when you're like freshly divorced or you're split up, but you're not divorced yet, but you're split up? Are you allowed to start seeing other people, or how soon can you start seeing other people? And on top of that, when is it okay, do you think, to introduce a new person to your kids?
Kel, that was too many questions at once.
Okay, we're going to go through.
I'm sorry.
Break it down.
I'm sorry. That was a little too much for my brain.
Up.
All right, we'll go through one at a time. But okay, so do you guys think, like, what is the timeline you think, in your opinion, where you can start seeing new people? And is it okay to start seeing somebody when you're split? You're not, the legal paperwork might not have been processed yet, but you're living in separate places. Is it okay for you to start seeing other people?
Well, first of all, legal paperwork is just that, paperwork. I think there's many factors that come into play when is it the proper time? Is there a proper time? Like, does somebody make some shit up and go, okay, a year after, it's okay? I don't know. I mean, some people probably had been seeing people the entire time. So shit, you just slide right in. And it just depends on the circumstances surrounding. It's like a personal thing. Like, were you truly hurt by that person? Maybe you don't want to date for a year or something. Or maybe you were already sick of that person and was just in that marriage just for the commitment purpose, and the day you sign the divorce paper or the day you separate, you are in those streets. I just think it's up to the individual, and it's kind of like grief. There's no process. There's no right or wrong way. In my opinion, I think it's very antiquated to say that,
nice.
You've got to have the divorce final. Do you? I don't know.
What do you think, Marcus?
Very interesting. I think this is I think it's to the individual. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in the space of being being on the right side of the court of public opinion, right? Your friends, your peers, people from just throughout your marriage, and what are they going to think and what are they going to say? Then there really is no time limit, I don't believe, as far as seeing other people. It's up to that person. It's up to that individual. Just like Jess said, if you're hurting, or if you've already been out the marriage for, 10 years and now the paperwork is just final, you've been separated for a long time, both parties are seeing other people, or it doesn't even matter. Both parties don't have to be seeing other people. But if you're already mentally and spiritually detached from this union, there is no time period as far as seeing other people. That's what I think.
Like you said, it's the public opinion. That is why I think that is why people wait and hold off and suppress their urges, because they are afraid of what other people might think of them.
But that's BS though. Once you really sit down and think about it, it's about your own personal journey and your happiness or whatever you're trying to get out of life and your new situation. You know,
Stella got a groove down on you wish they could get out of their marriage and move on, or wish they could do that shit. So they're hating. You
got to be careful, because sometimes, you know, your peers and public opinion and people, you know, sometimes that's an opportunity, right? People that have been around, they kind of been keeping their distance, but now if the door's open and people can, you know, swoop right in, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but court of public opinion, like I said, I feel like, and like I said, we're just, this is just my humble opinion. I don't know, but I've seen it from a distance. Now, when it comes to the kids, though, the kids and introducing,
you just moved right on to the next question.
Well, you didn't answer the second question, so I was.
But they were all lumped together. Kel said like 16 things in between.
Well, I was listening. So. I heard it all, Kel. I heard all of it. So I'll take a step back. Is that okay if I do that? If I take a step back and get back to the same question?
Go,
Jess. Or are you going to answer for me and tell me what I should be saying to the?
I could absolutely answer. No, go.
But where was I at? I wanted to jump to the kids, but I'm just saying in general though, this thing and this. You know, people have to stay together forever and this is how it works. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and moving on is the best thing for everybody. So, and you jump the broom, and sometimes you got to backflip out of that thing and come back, come back and do something different, man. Do something different that moves you, that puts you in a space of enlightenment, and you're really enjoying and not just being in a relationship or being in a marriage, being in a union just for the sake of it. That's kind of, I feel like that's a back in the day thing. People got together for all sorts of different reasons, but not so much.
People got married. It was for convenience.
To have a good time or to live you know, this being a positive energy place. That's not so much a thing of the past. And maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but
I think you're right.
But going forward, I think we're more aware now of what we want and what we need, and
yes, we're way more in tune and tapping in. You know, thanks to social media and all that kind of stuff.
And we only got so much time, so
you know, it's kind of marriage, and I think we went over that.
Don't take marriage lightly, but do what is right for you. And marriage is not easy, so I'm not telling those out there that may be on the fence or going through a tough time, just
give
backflip out of that thing, like I said, and just start from scratch, because that's not always the best thing to do. But if it's truly not working, then that's just what it is.
There's nothing wrong with breaking up and then the next day having a new boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever.
Or not having any commitment and just enjoying life freely, right? Travel,
right?
See the world and meet people along the way,
right? Just rediscover yourself.
Do you guys think it's messy at all? Because like I know a guy who he's actually been married a few times, but and like right after he got divorced, I shit you not, he moved a new woman in. Like a week and a half later. Now I know,
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Now I know we definitely said like on the public opinion front how it's like, oh, do what you want. It's just other people's perception. They're gonna have their perception. They're gonna think what they want to think. But like, do you think that's a little messy or a little like, I don't know, maybe you should kind of, you know, work on yourself? I think that's
shady as fuck.
Okay.
And clearly you don't just. I don't know. I guess it happens sometimes where it's like, I meet someone and, we talked all night and he never left. That type of shit. But yeah, right. Chances are that person had been talking to that person or was that person's side piece before then, and you got the green light and the person moves in the next week.
Side piece, or was what do you call it? Is confidant the right term?
A confidant, side piece, a confidant.
Something, someone that he was speaking with as he's going through his struggles in his own marriage.
I was about to say that, Marcus. Like what if this was that person that was helping me get through the
struggle, and now okay.
That goes back to having friends and not having friends of the opposite sex and stuff.
Well,
I'm not what?
And we gotta there's so many layers to this, right? Did the wife step out, or was the guy stepping out, or what happened?
Maybe there was no step out
to contribute to the separation of the divorce, right? So, I mean, it is what it is.
That's what I was going to say. Kayla, okay.
Enjoy yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks, right? The friends of the wife or the husband, the family members, all these people are going to have so much to say, but it's just like social media. The next story will come in and take the place. Everybody will forget about it, and you'll be living happily after with your new a piece of work.
Or you'll be known as the fucking marriage wrecker or the post-marriage wrecker. I have no idea. You'll be known as the piece of shit.
Allegedly.
But like you said, you shouldn't care, but in reality, people...
You're going to care.
Right, tend to see themselves and judge themselves based off of how other people treat them or tell them or say to them. And so you're going to get down on yourself. You're going to feel guilty. But you know what? Fuck these people.
I guess what I'm trying to say is don't let the chatter from the back overrule things you want to do. Of course, you hear things and you can see things, but don't let that be the thing that's pushing you to make your decisions, though, right?
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
You're right.
Do you?
And I think in some ways you should kind of feel, if you really, I don't know.
If you were really into the marriage, you should be hurt.
You really should feel a little like,
you should be in the shower crying for months and months and all this kind of stuff.
Well, if people are like, you moved on, blah, 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 you should be like, you know what? I understand what you're saying, but then there are some people that are like, they don't give a flying rat's ass who they hurt, what they done, what they do. They're moving on. It's about them. Fuck everybody else.
Not even that.
So sometimes you can have a little bit of like,
sometimes people can be like, okay, I've been through enough. I've been this person in this relationship. I've been the punching bag or whatever you want to call it. All this stuff has happened. So now that we're finally done, I'm gonna do me. And immediately, and you jump into the game.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like if you were married to someone, you had kids with them, you've built this life with them, like, there's a part of you that, I don't know, like, if I'm gonna get divorced, like, I'm gonna take some time to like reset and kind of just like chill. Like, I wouldn't be in the mood to want to like go and like, all right, let me now try to manage a relationship all over again. I just got out of that. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yes, to like
just jump into something immediately or just to move somebody else in. For me, I think that's that like, oh, you don't like being alone. Like, you're afraid to be alone.
That too.
You can't be by yourself.
Man, what's wrong with that? Like, is that a bad thing?
That too. That's probably why you got married in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, sometimes the situation finds you, Kale. I don't know, like, people may not be looking for this. I'm hurt. I just got a divorce, but something just falls in your lap. Literally, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but like. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Marcus, but like at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like, you should be able to live with yourself and be by yourself and be comfortable and okay with that and not have to like be so concerned about having this person, because like I have a friend here, I'm not gonna say his name, but I have a friend here in Vegas who like is with this woman right now. They're engaged, they're not married, and like their relationship is awful. And the reason he's with her is because, you know, he, quite frankly, like I can tell, like he doesn't want to be by himself. And like he puts up with her bullshit, and like they'll argue and talk shit in front of all of us, like at like our little get-togethers and shit. And like I'll look and I'll be like, that's how you talk to somebody when you're fed up with them. You know what I mean? And like they'll do that in front of people. And it's all because I know this man does not want to be by himself, and he got money. She knows he got money. So like she sticks around, you know, and it's just, I don't know, that just seems toxic to me and just unhealthy. And I just feel like you have to first learn to love yourself and like be able to deal with yourself and be okay with being by yourself before you can start inviting that and inviting people like into your space. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I just think it's fucking weird.
I get it. I totally understand your opinion. Yeah, you should be able to be alone and, you know, really take that time to, like I said earlier, reconnect with yourself and figure out what you really want in life and blah, 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 or out of a mate and whatever. But I think, I can't remember, but I think statistically men do not want to be alone more than women, are not okay with being alone. That women are more likely to, that's what, like when your partner dies or something like that, men will jump and find another, maybe not another girlfriend, but somebody else to sleep with, somebody else to cuddle with, because you guys need that. So look that up, because I think it's a fact. So I see it. He doesn't want to be alone. You guys don't want to be alone. You guys are big babies deep down. Sorry.
I'd say this. Everybody's not that good as far as life and loving themselves so much that they don't need to get into another situation and be okay with being by themselves. That's people that have had the practice, that have the reps, and have not had a bunch of trauma and all these type of things happen to them.
Trauma?
Huh?
Who hasn't had a bunch of trauma?
I know, that's what I'm saying though. So it's hard to say, okay, yeah, after you get a divorce, you should just chill out and kind of be to yourself and find yourself and figure out exactly what you want to do. Some people need that companionship. They feel like they're left out in the cold, and I guess they're by themselves, and it's stressful. It's all these situations. And again, I'm just kind of shooting with my eyes closed because I really don't know. But everybody's not in that comfortable space to be like, okay,
you need your needs met.
I don't want to rush into something because it could be dangerous. It could not be good for me. It could be this, it could be that. So I'm going to just try it, man. I'm free now. This is unfamiliar. It's kind of scary, but it's kind of cool all at the same time. I'm feeling...
Tell me how you really feel.
I'm feeling young again. I'm trying to get my thing back, right? So some people may get like a rise from that and be like, okay, I'm back. I don't have to worry about my spouse. It's really about me now. And what do I want to do? How can I be selfish in a good way, right? If there's a such
Ooh, damn.
If you could dig that, right? So we are a screwed up society, a screwed up people.
There's no right or wrong way.
We just want to feel good.
Yeah.
Be in a situation to where we feel like somebody could take care of us, or we could take care of somebody. It depends on kind of what's your thing. It's two different type of people, but people are messed up, bro. It's tough out here in general, right? And from the mental side, and relationships can take a toll on you. A bad relationship can definitely take a toll on you. So
how do you know? You're speaking this like this is like, he's speaking it like he's coming from like true experience. Like you really...
I mean, I watch a lot of TV, and I got a good...
You watch Family Guy.
Family Guy, but...
So where are you getting this from?
But I'm just saying, because I know people, I can kind of see stuff and understand what people are going through and what they're feeling. And things that are happening. Like I said, I was born on Christmas,
now.
if y'all didn't know. So I got this thing about me, right? I don't like to say it a lot, but I got this thing. So, yeah, people are struggling. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not perfect. This world is crazy. Mental health, physically going through stuff and just feeling like there's nobody out there to connect with. Or you're in a relationship and you're drowning and you don't know where to turn, and then you get out of it and it's like, oh, okay, I'm free. And now what do I do? Right?
You go
yeah,
crazy.
but like, think about it though, guys. Like, we've all known those people that have been serial daters, right? Those people that have never been single before, and they've always like have to be in a relationship, or like I've always knew like for girls, I'd be like, God, she's boy crazy. Like this, she always needs to be in a relationship. She always has to have a dude, or he's girl crazy. And like, they just are always like in some type of situation. And if it doesn't work out, they just immediately jump into the next situation. And it's just this hamster wheel, just all the time of just all these just shitty fucking relationships. And it's like, when you're in relationships like this, like, you're giving, just like with sex, you're giving pieces of yourself every fucking time. So then you get to a point where it's like you're low key like kind of hollow. You know what I'm saying? And like, you just are on this hamster wheel of just like, I need to get this like almost like fucking like dopamine high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Right.
You know?
No, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think that's just, I don't know. I think it's super weird where like, you know, like the guy I know, he's just, it's like willing to put up with it. I mean, he's been married, divorced, has kids, you know, his fucking kids don't talk to him because his ex-wife turned his kids against him. All types of this crazy shit. And this motherfucker he just doesn't want to be by himself. And I'm almost like, you know, we're a group of homeboys, and we're just kind of like, yo, dog, like, you're willing to put yourself through that bullshit with this fucking woman just because you don't want to be fucking by yourself? Like, there's obviously something deep down like you need to work on. There's something, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That it does become.
I don't know.
It is something within you, especially, you know, serial dater. There is something that is missing that I don't think you can't find in somebody else, right? You have to find it within yourself, and people think that they're all like, you know, I go to church and I do this and I'm grounded and I know exactly. And no, half the fucking time, I guarantee you don't even really know who you are, what your wants and needs are. You're just kind of going off of the masses and what you're being told to feel and do and act and be. And so I do agree that sometimes it really is that person and they are completely missing something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're, you know, bringing in trauma, the past trauma plays a role in it, all of that kind of stuff. So there's many factors, and you can't even like really, I mean, before I would be like, oh, that weak ass person or whatever. But now I'm kind of like, I understand a bit more why people are serial daters and all that kind of stuff. There's just something not quite right.
Do we believe that there's someone
and it's not even not quite right. It's just something that is missing that you don't even know is missing.
Do we believe that there's someone for everybody, even those type of people that don't really, like you said, Kel, it's kind of hollow or it's kind of shallow. They're serial daters. They can't really seem to get it right. It's always something that's going wrong. It's always drama attached to this situation, but maybe they just haven't found that right person to make them kind of change over or make the proper adjustments to be able to stay in a long-term relationship. I believe that.
I feel like you got to fix yourself first. I feel like
you only want to fix yourself if somebody
Everybody isn't meant to be with somebody
fixing themselves for.
I don't think everybody's meant to there are people that are not meant to be with people, just like there are people that are not meant to have kids. There are people that aren't meant. So I don't believe
the right
that there's
person
somebody for everybody, but I believe everybody comes into your life to teach you something.
Okay.
Whether that's you know the person for have a relationship with them for one day or 1 month. I think that people come into your life for a reason and a season, and whether that's in marriage, whether that's in after marriage, all of that kind of stuff. Everything is here to teach you a lesson to better yourself, for self-growth, self-awareness, self-growth, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, because I feel like if you don't know how to love yourself, like how are you going to be able to give that to other people?
Well, you can't.
How are you going to know how to give that to the right person?
Somebody got to come in and teach you how to do it. That's what I'm saying.
And
the right person
you're
comes
right.
along,
There is people that come along, like, just in my relationship with Marcus, I absolutely believe our paths crossed for a reason. And I absolutely believe he is here and very instrumental in me finding myself and my inner peace. This is the season, the reason, all those things. So, not like that. But
I'm gonna say that saying that Black folks say all the time that I hate.
Okay.
He fills your cup.
Damn,
I hate that saying.
Well, not like fills your cup with what?
I don't know.
Several things.
I was gonna say something very inappropriate.
Go ahead, say
but
it.
No, it's deeper than just filling a cup. He literally has. He teaches me a lot of things about myself all of the time, and that's why I believe everybody's here to teach you something, and we just so happen to be married, and it just so happens that it's working out for us.
There you go.
Just so happen, roll the dice.
Right.
Throw them out there. You never know. Huh?
You never know. People are crazy. People are people.
That's very true. People are people. People are humans.
Switch it up. Like,
people aren't perfect, right?
Right.
So if you're willing to put the effort in, if you're willing to be open, learn, accept new experiences and different perspective and point of view. So you do the same for me. I'm me and you're you, and we're pretty much polar opposites, right?
Yes.
So I learned a lot from you as well, of just seeing the world in a different way, right? Through a different lens, and it's opened my eyes to so many things. So
in an aggressive way, I'd like to say.
That's why we work, right?
Yeah.
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 Because like I had a friend growing up who his dad, who's a great fucking guy, and my mom used to say this all the time. She's like, such and such, he just always finds these just terrible women. Like he's like this dude, he'd always just marry and he'd marry these women, just these bad fucking women. And it wasn't until he fucking retired and moved to like Florida and like finally like found like a good woman that actually wasn't the cat I was friends with, mom, who was a great woman, but they never were married. But like every woman after the cat I was homies with, every woman he was with after that was just fucking terrible. Like I remember like one woman he was with essentially tried to like poison my homeboy.
Oh.
Like when he was a kid. Like crazy shit. Like crazy shit. You know? And so like I think about like his situation and I'm like, yeah, like that's what and he was a good guy. Mm-hmm. He was a good guy, like, and I think that's what it was, is like he finally like just came across like that one person that just
somebody for
like,
everybody.
Yeah, and then he just like he held on to that
somebody
one.
For everybody.
Yeah, he like really like and he like really held on to that one, and it's like, and he's been happy ever since. But it
took all those women teaching him those lessons,
of
right?
what he didn't want and what he didn't like.
And then when he found the right one,
and learn about himself too, right?
He knew and retirement, all had time, whatever, and that right one came along.
Took this man almost 40 years to finally find like a good fucking woman, you know?
It's never too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my other question for you guys with this, the other part, because according to Jess, I asked 16 things. It was literally
swear to God, it was like
literally 3 questions.
it was like I heard like 175 words.
It was a 2.5, Marcus. My bad. I thought it was 3. It was 2.5. My bad.
You're good.
2.5 questions. When would you guys say that Jess is like, fuck you guys? When did you guys think it's okay to introduce someone new to your kids? Because I know people are very, very touchy when it comes to that, because you don't want your kids to get attached to some just, you know, person that might not be around for a long period of time, you know, and it might be a revolving door. What's your guys' opinion on that?
You want me to go? Or you
can go.
I think there is no perfect time, right? It depends on what type of relationship you have with your kids, and every kid is different. So what type of child do you have? Can you be open with your child and be like, okay, mommy or daddy is just dating right now, and these aren't people that are going to be a mainstay in our family. This is just mommy's friend, and I'm getting to know him, and maybe, right? I don't know if your kids are mature enough to handle that.
Marcus, I was going to say, Marcus, I don't want to interrupt you, but like, do kids really think like that though?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Let's say like an 8-year-old.
Okay, well, yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. It depends on the maturity.
Like
it definitely.
Well, I think it's introducing as mommy's friend is okay, but when mommy's friend is like in the bed with mommy and has his or her stuff at mommy's house, that's when it can be that's when it can become a little confusing.
When Mr. Charles is staying tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Right.
But y'all make sure y'all don't come in my room type of situation.
Yeah, that's when it's like,
y'all take your melatonin now.
Right. Take your melatonin. Come catch this NyQuil for kids. Come do all of this. So I do think there should be a timeline when you introduce somebody. You got to protect your kids. Right. You have to protect their.
You got to be intentional about it.
Right. You have to be sensitive.
I think you should be intentional about that. But the timeline, it could be up to the kid. What?
And maybe it's never, because there's some people that do wait months and finally introduce this person, and it doesn't last. So maybe you are right, and there is no, right or wrong time. But I think also it has to do with maybe how many people you introduce to your kids as well. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want to introduce Mr. Charles, and then that doesn't work out, and the next thing you know is, Pastor Malcolm. And then next thing you know, it's,
Pastor Malcolm,
brother Davis,
William H. Christ. Damn.
That's where you don't want to do that, because that'll really, I think that'll really fuck your kid up.
So this is what I'll say too, though. Do you even introduce friends as they come along, or do you keep a separation until you
keep a separation?
Keep separation
until you know
these are your kids. You don't know, right? Like, you got to know that. I think you got to know that person too.
There is a such thing as privacy for parent to kid privacy as well, though. If you're in that situation, kids don't need to know everything that parents are doing at all times.
No,
if they're not ready for that, right?
No.
So okay, you hanging out with Mr. Charles now, and you might even be hanging out with Deacon Joseph as well, but that's your that's your prerogative. The kids don't need to be a part of those conversations, right? All conversations aren't kid conversations. So mom or dad is doing this. I'm hanging out with Sister Parks You know,
where do we go from
Why are these
sister,
all
brother,
people from the
pastor?
church, by the way? Real
I
quick,
don't know.
why are all these people from the
I
church?
don't know where this came from.
I'm catching
not
this
sure.
theme.
that's what the
Like,
Kings
you're
of
just-
Comedy did, and
Yeah, but it's like it sounds like you're fucking the entire congregation. Like, why is everyone from the
that
fucking
might
church?
happen. Actually, you might run through the congregation. You never know.
people from the congregation do
You
have
never
sex
know.
as well.
Hey,
They're
they are not
human.
exempt.
But what I'm getting at is that there is a line, there is a privacy. Kids don't need to know everything that the parents are going through until it's time and until it's properly.
Are you talking about the introduction of another person, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, both the introduction, or I'm hanging out with this man or this woman. It doesn't all have to be all the time until it's ready, because you do have to protect your kids.
Right. And you can introduce that person, but still keep that person. That person doesn't need to be, your kids waking up and that person is like,
Everybody can't even come to the house.
in there like, hey, little
If you
Joey.
hang out with Mr.
It's
Charles
like, oh,
and you
shit.
do that at the
Right, you got to
you
go,
know.
Mr. Charles. And once we're a little bit more serious,
or you go on a trip,
we
or you
both
go
made
to the
a commitment
motel
together. This is what we want. Then you guys both go to that kid. I think you guys you both together.
Let's go to dinner. I mean, and my friend is coming to dinner. I'm gonna introduce you.
And I really like this friend.
Right.
And I want you to get to know my friend, and maybe you'll like my friend too.
Is this my new daddy?
That might happen, and you can say yay or nay at that point. No, but yeah,
That's when the backhand comes out. If the kid says that, that's when
that's when the backhand comes out.
You got one daddy. You don't got a new daddy.
you don't.
I'm your motherfucking daddy.
Right.
Yeah, right. And yeah, that's when the
You know what
kid
I'm
starts
saying?
calling him dad. I don't know about that. I don't know how that works. I don't want to, because that's sensitive.
That's some sensitive shit.
That is very sensitive.
No, it's funny when you guys said, you wake up and Mr. Charles or whatever is sitting in the living room. All I can think of is Vin Rhames butt naked making eggs and baby boy.
You want some eggs?
Right.
Want some eggs? That's all I can think of.
Traumatized immediately. Are you kidding me?
Oh shit.
Sheesh.
Jody.
Conversations need to happen. But Jody was like, what, at 22 and a half,
A grown-
right? In the movie.
He was a grown man.
But still.
Yeah, but
that
still,
is
but
kind,
that's
that,
his mom.
that challenges your manhood at that point.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The communication and the levels of communication. What should have happened was, okay, I'm dating this man. I want to hang out. And Mr. Rames is coming to the house. And
he'll
this is what's going on. I just want you to be aware, Jody. I just want you to know
right.
that this
Like
is
when
what's
you're
going
22,
on.
this is the deal.
Yeah.
He's gonna come over.
So you should leave,
We're
Jody.
gonna sleep together.
Yeah. You should go stay
He
at your
will be here
homegirl's
tomorrow.
house.
If you'd like to meet him, stick around. If you don't want to meet him, I'll stay at your friends. Yeah.
Well, we saw how that happened with Jody. Jody ended up getting put in a chokehold. He ended up choking that nigga out. So we know how that ended. Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, like I don't know. My thing is like wanting to like introduce somebody to your kids. I feel like that's just so touchy because
That's so
like
hard.
I don't want my kids to be attached to somebody and then their heart gets broken when this person don't come around no more. Like I've seen that happen with people where like they're in a relationship, like little kid's 4 or 5 years old and the boyfriend or whatever is playing with the kid and almost treating the kid like he's his own. And all of a sudden it just doesn't work out between the mom and dad, and then the dude don't come around no more, and it's like, damn.
Or no, the kid could possibly start blaming themselves for all of that,
Yeah,
especially
like,
if the dad left or the mom left, and then you bring somebody else in who's playing daddy or mom, and then they leave. It's like, what is wrong with me? I might be doing something wrong and they don't want to stay. And so it's such a sensitive subject,
Slippery
and it's
slope.
yeah, there's a slippery slope.
Do we err on the side of caution though? And then, I mean, if what you guys are saying, do we just not introduce at all until we know that this man or woman is really going to be a part of our lives? Do we keep it in the shadows, in the dark?
That's what I'm saying. You keep Pastor Jalil back.
Jalil, Jesus. Where did you get that from?
You keep him back until you guys both need to be in agreement and ready to be committed to each other. And Pastor Jalil has to feel comfortable with it. I have to feel comfortable with it. And then it can still
go bad, but the communication is key to make sure that the steps are in order.
And when you approach the child together and you guys come together and say, we love each other, this is what's this is that. You know, Pastor Jalil, wants to get to know you and, all of that kind of stuff. And they're together for a while and it doesn't work out. I think that is...
softens the blow a little bit.
I think it might soften the blow.
I think it's okay.
All about the approach.
I think it's okay for mommy or daddy to be like, okay, I'm going out on a date tonight. Not like any big details, but I'm going out tonight. Communication with the kids. I'm single, I'm dating, and this is normal, this is natural, but they're not in our...
And even ask the kid. I think even asking them for permission. Is it okay if mommy goes out with Pastor Jalil? Is it okay?
Jalil, where did you get this name from? Why is this happening?
Is it okay if mommy gives Pastor Jalil? Is it okay
a little
if
dome
we kiss?
In the car on the way to the movies? My bad. I went there, but sometimes...
Do we do that with our kids? Well, no.
Not to the kids, but I'm saying this is what the mom is thinking, but she will dress it up as I'm going to hang out.
Right. Is it okay if Pastor Jalil and mommy kiss? Are you okay with, are you comfortable with that? And kids, they'll catch on with the shit and be like, yeah or no, or I don't like them. And what if they don't like Pastor Jalil? What do? I don't know. I'm sorry. As a kid, Pastor Jalil, conduct yourself you've got to win this kid over, right? And so the kid should like the pastor, or maybe the kid is all, still the dad is involved still. And so it could be hard, but I think asking for permission and kind of, like you said, communicating with the kid, this is what's happening.
And the dad is probably involved as well, though. So communication all the way around, 360
and
vision.
The dad to say it's okay.
Don't be bringing some random ass nigga around my kid.
Even bringing a random female as well from the dad's side. Kids involved. So it's 360 vision here.
Is it all right if Pastor Jalil touches mommy's butt?
Fair.
Shit. Because I mean, then you have those kids too, though, that like, even let's say you were, you keep your private life like separate from them, and they don't, really know what's going on, and they'll ask you, Mom, why don't you have a boyfriend? Or like, Mom, Daddy, why don't you have a girlfriend? Why are you like? I remember when my parents got divorced, and like my mom didn't date, or at least for I knew of, my mom didn't date for a long time. And I low-key kind of thought it was weird. And obviously she met my stepdad and they were together and rode off in the fucking sunset. But like, I remember just thinking like, damn, like, why don't my mom got a boyfriend? Like, does she not want a boyfriend? Like, what's the, and like, as the kid, like, you think about that shit, especially when you get a little older, when you get like, 10, 11 years old, and you're more in tune of society and what goes on, like you wonder that shit. And like, I remember I might have even asked my mom that one time. I was just kind of like, do you want a boyfriend? Like, do you see yourself ever like remarrying or ever being with somebody ever again? Because, you got hurt, And then it's like, is there a fear? Is there a wall there of not wanting to, feel that hurt again? So like you've kind of alienated yourself from like that space and that world of dating and, marriage. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a good episode. I like this. This was good. I don't think we've ever really like dug this deep into this type of shit, but
I liked it.
I just don't. You guys come with all these fucking church references.
I don't know where the pastor. We
all grew up in church, and I'm just thinking of the
But who the fuck is Jaleel?
I know. Yeah.
I thought of Urkel.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That was the Jaleel. It just came in. So Pastor Urkel.
Wow.
But yeah, I like the name actually.
You
Jaleel.
need to work on your creativity. And if you went straight to Urkel, like
Jaleel, the name, it just kind of came. It's like, okay.
Nah, if I'm being honest and I'm being supportive as a spouse, that wasn't a good.
Okay, Pastor Malcolm then. Pastor.
Brother Malcolm or.
Well, that's where that came from as well.
Right.
I think Brother Malcolm, and it just translated to Pastor Malcolm. Jaleel and Malcolm.
Be Miss Patrice.
Come on down.
Be Miss Patrice or Mr.
Yes.
Samuel. Be Mr. Samuel and Miss Patrice.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
That's a show for
All
us.
right, we're wrapping this up. You niggas, I can't handle you two right now. This is a dope episode, though. Truly Unruly, Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. Of course, follow these guys on social media. Follow the page, Truly Unruly _podcast. Catch us every Sunday on Converge, and you can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform. Like, review, subscribe, and check out the visual. Search Truly Unruly on YouTube. I think that's it.
Pastor Jaleel.
All right, Pastor Jaleel. Till next time, y'all. Peace and love.